I call David Bennett.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'd just like to congratulate that last speaker on a very fine speech that was representative of somebody that has intelligence, integrity and a desire to make a difference, unlike the speaker before that attacked her when she was speaking and tried to make it personal, and that is a disgrace from that member from Christchurch from the Labour Party that hasn't got the ability to debate in this House like that last speaker had. So it is really something that is a nature of this Parliament. And I'd like to also congratulate Mr Matt Ducey as well. I thought he did an excellent speech. I thought he was right on the mark there. He talked about families, commitment and making things work, and how there is that time and desire to do something by the government for families, and I thought his speech was brilliant, and I thought for a new member coming in, that speech was a real speech of integrity as well, and I think those last two national speakers can be very proud of the way that they haven't played politics with this issue. They have talked about it and they have worked through the issues and worked through that in a constructive and balanced way, just as the government has. I also think it's important to acknowledge Sue Moroney here today. She has put a lot of work into this bill. Sue is also from Hamilton, and I know that this is something she is passionate about, and that whenever we have debates in Hamilton, she does bring it up, and I'd like to commend her on that, because I think that she has shown passion within that area, and yes, but I do. I think she's done a good job on that. And it's a shame that some members of this House try and play politics with the issue rather than actually look at what is actually going on and actually work towards getting long-term solutions that everybody can work with and are in the best interests of New Zealand families. And I think that's the most important thing, because we all want the same thing. Nobody in this House wants to deny New Zealand families the best start that they can have. You know, that's part of being in this House. It's our future of our country, and of course we want that. And of course everybody will work within their own ways to do this. Did you say something, Mr Nash? Oh, Mr Nash wants me to cross the floor. It's more likely Mr Nash would cross the floor this way and vote against the bill. But that won't happen, will it, Mr Nash? I'm sure that cosy seat there is just too nice to do that. The fact of the matter is that all members of this House will feel the same way. And it's a matter of balance of what can and can be done constructively within the government. And this government has made changes in regard to paid parental leave, and we are working towards making more available for those in that situation, and to give our youngest and our brightest and our families the best opportunity we can. There was one point that was raised by the previous Labour speaker, and she mentioned the surpluses that Labour had encountered and when it was in government, and that's true. They had great economic times. You know, they didn't have a world recession. They didn't have to rebuild your second biggest city. They had great economic times, and they were set up probably from some great policies before that. They also took New Zealand into recession a year before the rest of the world, but we must have to forgive them for that, because they didn't know what they were doing. They were just following the economic policy that they had learnt, that was inherent to their beliefs. But they had the opportunity then to extend paid parental leave, but it didn't happen, did it? Did it happen under Labour when they had the money there? No, they didn't. But then they come into this House and they make it an issue now. And I think that's sad, because Sue has spent a lot of time on this bill, and Sue really did mean well, and it's disappointing the Labour Party hasn't reflected that in her role in the Labour Party now, and I think that that's an indication that they don't actually believe in what they're doing, and I'm disappointed for you in that regard, Sue. But I think that, you know, Labour had that opportunity. They didn't do it. We've been in more difficult economic times, and we've still made moves in that area. Okay, it's not maybe what everybody wants, but you know, we have to make the steps that we can, and this is a balanced approach. And in summary, Mr Speaker, I'd just like to say that everybody in this House will no doubt want to see the best for our families and our children, and there's no doubt about that. And this bill is part of that process of getting the best for our young children and our families, and there are going to be some changes, and there is a program ahead in the government which is reflected in a number of government initiatives that will deliver for our young people going forward, and I'd like to thank everybody that's been involved in this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. The contrary, no. The motion is lost. Party vote called for. The clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
32 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 proudly in favour.
New Zealand First.
11 votes in favour.
Maori Party.
2 votes in favour.
Ag New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Members, the ayes are 60, the noes are 60. The motion is lost. Call on members, order of the day number 2.
Register of